You're back.
We're back. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, if we voice on this town, we're gonna have a lot of people.
I'm gonna kill my. How is that? Is that better?
Yes. You said Scott's not coming.
Scott's not coming. Kathy's not coming.
Recording in progress.
And John, get better.
We'll see how long this is.
Yeah.
That's the warning shot. Be prepared.
It's been doing it ever since we got it. So.
Save early, save often.
Maybe it's just a short circuit.
Ready?
Is John here? What happened?
Yeah, you slipped, they went to the office.
John, are you here?
I am.
Come on in, we're getting started.
I'm ready.
You can take a seat up here, please. You
I'm good right here, thanks.
good? Okay. Just want to keep your distance, that's cool. All right, let's get started. I'll bring the meeting to call to order.
Determine voting members. Determine code.
Yeah, we need to determine voting members. Sarah?
Sarah Kimball?
John Allen.
David Campbell.
Huntley Allen.
On Zoom? Chris? Chris McAleer. Are you a voting member tonight? Yes. Chris via Zoom, Bill Terry. Missing are Scott Thatcher and Kathleen Dougherty, okay?
Everybody should have a copy of the minutes. Shortest minutes for you.
I'll move we approve them as written.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous?
Next is the public comment.
Any public comment on something that's not on the agenda? No. Okay, none?
Okay. Next is the opening of the public hearing regarding the line adjustment.
All right, so tonight we have a public hearing as part of our meeting. It's been posted. And again, we need to determine our voting membership. It will be the same as the regular meeting. For those of you who are not familiar with our regular procedures, it's real simple. Address the chair, I will recognize you, and discussion will be allowed among members of the board at any time. But again, let's make sure we did quorum. First item is a lot line adjustment. The Andrew DBL Trust.
Ready? All right. Okay. I'm Andy Fisher from Amity Music Survey Company, presenting the boundary line adjustment. And I know we had submitted plans. I do have revised plans. I believe the only revision is that we didn't have the wetland scientist certification and stamp on the plans that we submitted initially. So we have taken care of that. Would you like kind of spread around. So this is a boundary line adjustment involving 3 parcels, all owned by the Andrew DBL Trust. And this probably looks remarkably similar to something that we came in for.
So that paper napkin you brought last week.
The paper napkin, exactly. I don't know. But I think I've got another sort of fancy, I say fancy, it's colorful maybe for the camera. Just sort of as a, I don't know the best way to put it, but just trying to show the lots as they exist and then the lots as they would be as a result of this proposed boundary line adjustment. So as it stands now, so we're on Dundee Road and there are 3 parcels currently. So it might be, I might borrow this to just show the board if that helps anybody. I'm good. You're good. You're good. Okay.
I didn't see it.
Okay. So the wonderful coloring job that I did. The purple is 1 lot. The pink is the 2nd lot. So the purple is what I think of as the house lot with the house and buildings. The pink is sort of the middle lot, and then the green, which does come out to Dundee Road, is what I think of as the back lot.
The back 40.
The back 40, exactly. And so as we discussed at our preliminary hearing, this boundary line adjustment would merge the pink lot, the middle lot, would become part of the 2 other lots. So that lot would go away. And so the house lot, the existing house lot, which now ends to the east of the westerly sideline of the entire, of all the subject parcels. It would extend to the westerly sideline where there's a stone wall. And there is 33 feet of frontage on Dundee Road, which is part of the current back parcel. This project would shift that frontage from the west side to the east side, and would increase the frontage from 33 feet to 112.8 feet. So it's a much better situation as far as the total frontage. The parcels, again, the two parcels that we would end up with would both have a net increase in lot size and density. So they would be better parcels as far as lot loading and all of that. They both, again, they all already exist, but at the end of it, they would far exceed the requirements for Jackson and obviously the state of New Hampshire for lot loading, lot density, lot size.
Mhm.
So it's really it is the same as what we were discussing a month or so ago. There are wetlands. There are wetlands in various places on all of the parcels. The back part, like the southernmost part of the back parcel, has wetlands that were not delineated as part of this project. But that parcel is increasing, it's gaining 2.5, almost 3 acres of land. So there's not much question that it is a viable lot, but there were the wetlands that probably exist on that parcel weren't delineated. So our wetland scientists wanted us to make that clear. That just because they're not shown doesn't mean that there aren't wetlands.
Okay, any discussion, questions?
Back there for the audience.
So what they're doing is connecting all three together.
Yeah, basically, we're going from 3 to 2, yeah.
3 to 2.
Taking that middle lot out and changing over the access from this side to this side for the back lot, and making the back lot larger. And the front lot larger.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
So the access to the back lot is,
So the current access to the back lot is this 33-foot strip, which comes through
Yeah.
and opens up. Yep.
So
And so
this way of being stripped
would
falls
from
there,
that
from
would
back there.
stretch over
Yeah.
the access.
This adds a much wider swath to it. And both of them cross wetlands, so it doesn't make any difference whether you're there, wetlands there.
Yeah, any development of the back parcel will require a wetlands permit, and it would have already. So there's no change to that other than there's an increased area where that could be worked.
So in effect, what we have is basically 2 lots and 2 improved lots, if you will, from where we were. We go from three lots, one of which was pretty much bound, land bound, to one that's fully accessible from the road with an additional, a larger access space. So in effect, we have something that I think, as we discussed last time, we end up having 2 lots that are more compliant than we had when we started.
Exactly. Yep.
If I'm characterizing your conversation correctly.
Yes, absolutely. We are resulting in 2 lots that are, to simplify it, two lots that are better than they were
When we started.
before, and then the 1 lot that was landlocked, it is merged into the other 2, so that's becomes a non-issue.
Any questions?
You mentioned wetland delineation. Are the wetlands shown on this map?
Not for the what we call the back parcel. So there are some wetlands in here that were not delineated, but the wetlands on the two of the 3 parcels are delineated.
Well, you
And
know,
show it.
it's stream, but I don't see with
It's
wetlands.
this orange line, these things here.
Are there dotted lines?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And there are wetlands up here coming through, and there's wetlands here.
Yeah, wow.
But those
Oh, I
are,
see,
for-
very pink, very faint,
Very faint, yes, 'cause
very faint, pink.
Yeah, this is the present house, right, the Beal house?
correct,
And that's their well and their septic.
correct. And the septic is newly approved, installed, as of, I think, last summer, fall? Last fall.
And the septic is designed for how many bedrooms? Is it standard 3?
I believe it's,
3 bedrooms plus a studio, so 4 bedrooms.
and that all came through the town, obviously.
I just think this, isn't this house short-term rental?
Yes, I think, isn't it, unless it's changed?
The house has been short-term rental. Will no longer be, once, well, I've stopped renting short-term.
any other questions? Are we ready to vote then? Okay. Do I have a
The motion to
motion to, first to accept the
accept the application?
Do I have a motion to accept?
I motion. I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we've accepted the application now. We have to have a motion to approve.
A motion we approve?
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And unanimous on both the acceptance and the approval.
There used to be a checklist, did we not go through that already, or did we miss that? Or did it do it last time?
Seeing that.
So there would have been a check, I believe we do, we tend to submit both the checklist filled out by us and then
And that's for
a blank checklist for the board to fill out.
I haven't been on the board in 3 years, but we remember going through
Right.
every item and
Yeah, no, I
analyzing
think-
them.
yeah.
I think what they're doing now is the Julie's go through it first, or Bill, you went through it with them,
Yeah.
and see if there's any problems.
I'll read it off, please.
Right, so we go through it and then we,
I remember we had
But
to
yes,
make sure they were all
in the
on the
back.
maps before they had the, what's the Mylar copy, is that what it is?
yes, the Mylar's there.
Before you get.
The application is signed.
Yes.
Yes. Butters list provided, yes. Application fees paid, yes. Yes, yes. Okay. Title box identified title for proposed light line adjustment plot showing town and plan date.
Yes.
E911 address for proposed lot if available.
So there's the E911 address for the existing lot, not for the, well, for the house lot. The other lot exists already, but there is no E911 address because there is
There is
no
nothing.
structure.
So would that be,
Yeah, the answer is yes.
okay. Tax map, lot number of all lots involved in lot line adjustment.
Yes.
Yes. An ownership chart including printed names of owners before adjustment and after amount of acreage actually being exchanged in acres and square feet.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the box there.
Voters name, tax map, lot numbers matching, separate abutters list. That is true, I checked those
Yep.
before I got here. Name of zoning district where lots to be adjusted are located.
Yep.
Minimum zoning frontage requirement. Yep. Cost scale at 1 inch equal 100 feet or better.
Yes.
North arrow.
Mhm.
Location map clearly showing centered site location and adjacent named roads.
Mhm.
Name, license number, address, seal, and signature of surveyor.
Yep.
Surveyor certification statement, I certify that.
That's there, and then there is also the Jackson specific.
Boundary survey including bearings and distances for all lot lines, both current and proposed, show entire parcel being adjusted with current lot numbering. Yep.
Mhm.
All zoning ordinance setback lines, i.e. building setback in year-round streams.
Yep, so the streams there.
Soil minimum lot size chart demonstrating each proposed lot meets zoning minimum lot size requirements based on section 6 of the zoning requirements.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Letters name, tax map, lot numbers matching a separate butter list. Yes. Existing buildings and other human-made objects remaining.
Yep.
Deed restrictions, if any, copy of deed and statement indicating no knowledge of deed restrictions may be submitted. I think that was.
Yes, that was in there. And there are no particular.
Location of existing and proposed water supplies, i.e. well water, within 200 feet of involved lots. Show protective radii for all these water wells and streams. Lot of existing proposed sewers and septic systems within 200 feet of the involved lots.
Yes, I don't think there were any.
No, we're laughing because there's no such possibility.
Yeah, there's no right, there's no.
There's nothing.
These are
Okay.
not quite applicable.
Okay. Location and names of all existing streets.
All one of them.
Last, floodplain land, if applicable, clearly demarcated, involved base flood elevation data, floodway, flood hazard area, floodplain boundary, and boundary of the river conservation district, if applicable.
Not applicable.
Not
Okay,
applicable.
yeah, I believe. There's no.
Okay.
Not unless that intermittent stream is truly.
We accept
It's yes, it is not, does not come to the level of floodplain.
And it was approved. Does the application comply with all zoning ordinances? Yes. Okay. Sign it there. So should we keep these because it was set in the
So these should be,
other ones?
this is this.
This is the set.
This is the set, and like I said, I think the only difference is that these have the wetland sizes.
Okay, I'll tell Julie I'll destroy those.
And the lot.
Thank you.
The file. Thank you very much.
we appreciate your professionalism in putting it together.
Thank you very much. It's, it's always fun.
Makes our job easy.
Well, that's it's likewise. It's for all of us involved. So.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you all.
All right, thank you.
That's something, that's the next thing on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Next is the voluntary lot merger.
Where was the lead town before we had?
Outside on the,
That is
All right.
V10, 32, 37, 38.
Okay, so what we're looking at here is a voluntary lot merger. The owner of the two lots are Lynn and Ted Castangue. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Castangue? Two shots, I probably missed them both. Okay, we have a map here if you want to look at it.
Are all three lots owned by the same people?
Yes.
Yes.
And the two lots that are in the merger are, the request is for what? To merge lots,
32, 37, and 38.
Into a single lot? The map that you're looking at, Bill, it doesn't have the frontages on it or anything.
yes, that's,
It does have
Yep.
distances.
I know one is very small.
I think all three are small.
see, 37 is 182, I believe, the other is 230 unit. Gotta get the,
So
it's
the
really
final,
small print.
the final lot will have,
It will be over 300 feet.
okay, no problem.
What takes her? These lots.
Equal like this.
Yeah, I know.
1.36,
See the one, the glasses.
1.2. I knew one was really small, that's all.
1.2.
The other was like 2 point something, yeah, that's what I thought.
So it's 2.1, 1.2, and 0.36 acres.
Acres.
Acres of the three lots. So all three, we have it together.
Well, since there are lots of record, by combining them, they are going to be more than what they were before, so they're going to be more conforming if they're not conforming right now.
Right, one of those is very small, I don't remember what it was, but. Yeah, 0.36, so, yeah.
Are there any buildings on these?
I'm still trying to figure out how to read these things.
That's a building, has a picture of a building.
This doesn't look it.
This is 37. And
This is 38, and that's 32.
So 37 is the 1.2 acres, it's the biggest one?
No, 2.1 is the biggest one.
Okay, so it'll end up being one,
Okay, I'm sorry, we're looking at lot 32?
3.66,
32,
3 2/3 acres.
32.
There, but, and this is 32, 37, 38, is that correct?
32, 37, and 38. Yep. Yeah, 32.
So 37 has the house on
This
it.
is 32, here's 37, 38, how does that work?
Yeah, how does that work?
Are they contiguous?
No.
No.
I looked it up, I thought they were.
This is B10, right? Mark. Okay, this is our
And I'm looking at the wrong one, I'm looking at the wrong one.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wrong one, that's why it is.
Mather Way, it's off of
I'm looking at the wrong map, thank you very much.
V10,
Yeah.
not R.
Yeah, okay, so when I looked it up last time, it looked right, so
There you go.
here we go.
Okay.
So, okay,
It's
here we
off of
go.
Mather Way.
38, 37,
Yeah, I'm 30.
32.
There we go, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, they're on Mather Way. Yeah. Oh my God, that one was so tiny.
There are some houses there, I don't know if there's a house on that lot per se.
Apparently not, according to the,
Right.
The taxes on
The tax on that.
37 is all.
so the house is on 37 and he's adding on. some,
Yeah, so this adds big time to that lot.
Yeah.
and so it's
And
3 point,
the frontage is
6.
more than enough, and they're,
Big house already.
there are no issues, which I can see. Pays to look at the right
Yeah,
map,
issue.
doesn't it? Yeah. Pays to look at the right map.
But 37, 30, you would think 32 would be separate.
Yeah, well, I think with the numbers, but
Yeah.
It works.
well, what number is it gonna be now?
well, there's a 32A and a 32B, which must be somebody else's. 36 is behind it.
I would,
35 is over
Yeah.
on the other side. So they're all kind of in that same.
it would seem that the one that the house is on would be the one that you maintain.
Yeah, that's 37.
And
There's the one in the middle is the one that's got
The numbering?
And the others, yeah, the two on the other side.
I think that makes most sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Chris, you have any questions on that? You're good? Okay, thank you.
There's no checklist on this one, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
There's no checklist on this one. It's either up or down. Do I have a motion?
I move we accept the application for the voluntary lot merger. For the 3
Do I have a
lots.
second? please?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to accept and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think we have to do an approval. We have a
Motion to approve.
motion to approve, a second.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Why they want me to print my name, I can understand. I can't read it either.
That's the last one.
All right, so, I think our business is done for the public hearing. And actually, the voluntary lot manager was not required to be in the public hearing session. But we included it, so call for an end to the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Public hearing closed. All right, so we have two things on the agenda. A discussion of the water protection ordinance. I've not done any additional work on this. I wondered if anybody else has done anything to take a look at this. and since last time. If you have, that's great. If you have not, I suggest that our next step might be to do a markup of the regs that we've seen as a model, and then actually have a discussion of the markup, so we have something to work with and talk about at the meeting itself. So if everyone's agreeable to that, Sarah, do you have any things that you're prepared to talk about this evening, or?
No, I have just sort of skimmed through it just to see what was in it, rather than look at the regulations and make any determination as to whether they apply to Jackson. My question is, it says it's a model ordinance, that it's Town of Hart's location.
This is done by Hart's Location. The chair of the planning board, Hart's Location, is also a member of the Water Conservation Group and is chair of that organization, and worked from their model to craft these specifically for Hart's Location. So
Have they been enacted?
they have.
So,
So I thought that was a good place for us to start,
okay.
seeing that he has a vested interest and also went from model to an actual, the model actually is many more pages. And this is, really captures the essence of the model. It does shortcut on a couple of things that the model generally applies to a much larger setting with many more difficulties associated with it, including industry and other kinds of things that could complicate matters. And again, I think Hart's Location has a similar kind of concern to our own relative to the kinds of things that are going on in Hart's Location. Compared to Jackson, we don't have a major industry here. We don't have, I mean, the tourist industry is our industry, primarily with inns and restaurants. Golf courses. We don't even have a gas station here any longer. And again, these regulations are not exclusive of the requirements set by the state. They are intended to augment and establish local regulation to ensure that anything that's specific to our town would be covered. So again, I suggest that you read it. The question I would have is, how do you want to move forward? Do you want, I could mark this up if you like as a first start, or if you want to get a couple of people together, we could do that.
I'd like to do that. I'd like to get a couple, I'd like to get about, because the only question I had, like we were talking about last week, you mentioned we don't have a gas station, but we have an ordinance that doesn't allow gas stations, right? I was just like, do we exclude things like that in ours, or should we cover like all of the stuff that they're covering, even though like junkyards, we don't have a junkyard in Jackson. Some houses may look like that, but we don't have one. And then this excludes residential, correct?
This one does, correct.
Yeah, the intention on this one was to exclude residential.
It excludes.
Anybody else want to sign up for an off meeting committee? I can, it'd be limited to 3 of us.
I may just go through it on my own and talk it out, and then we can compare.
All right, would you guys like to set up like a meeting a couple weeks from now?
Sure.
And we'll just walk through it. We're going to do a Zoom meeting if you like, or
We can do that. I'll set up a Zoom.
Any other discussion? Okay,
And the goal is to try to get this on a vote
yes.
for next year.
Now, how does this deal with, because Hart's location doesn't have a golf course, we do. And I know the chemicals they use on golf courses can be, pretty toxic, so how would ours differ from Hart's location, or wouldn't it?
Can't say.
Good question.
I can't answer your question. But that would be something we'd have to consider, yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have a copy of the, as you say, the original model, which is even larger than this?
We probably all have it because it was presented at a meeting, that was a joint meeting with the Conservation Committee and with the Board of Selectmen back last year, where they provided a full set. It was 17 pages of documentation. If,
Okay.
I can probably roust that up and resend it electronically. I'm sure I have it.
Just to see if something that they left out may apply to us, so we can
Yeah.
slice it.
It's likely you have it if you keep those things, and if you don't, I'm sure I do.
Okay, I don't remember seeing it, but it may have been an attachment.
It was an attachment to a meeting invitation.
I remember the meeting, and they had a PowerPoint presentation.
That's exactly the
Yeah,
thing.
but
And
then there was
it also had the
the document.
documentation. And if I can't locate it, I will make an effort to find it.
Okay,
I'll try to look. This bar probably has it too. Invitation.
Okay. Tell you what, why don't you check your stuff,
I'll
give
let
me a
you know.
holler, if not, I'll
Yep. will do.
wrestle it down.
Okay, so
Short-term rentals?
short-term rentals, only two. Only two. This is really hard. It's flashing lights. Okay, the first one is Chase Holbloom on Hutman Heights, and that's where they live. No, Hutman Heights in Jet, that's where they Newport, everything meets the standard, everything okay, 3-bedroom septic on file, 3-bedroom permit on file. They claim, according to Julie, where they placed the ad, because they're not approved yet, not until they get approved will they place an ad. So there's no ad currently available. Because they don't place them until they get permission that they're okay to be open up.
is this a new one, or is it?
It's a new one.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of things. One is that this property is considered to be quote unquote the village district. It's within 500 feet of Route 16.
Mhm.
So it does not have the restriction of their rural residential. The other question around the ad, the house just changed hands most recently. This is a new owner, and I don't really know if the prior owner rented it or not, but according to the application, it had been rented previously. I think that the fact that we don't have an ad to look at to see whether or not they're going to advertise it correctly would be perhaps in our comments to suggest to the select board that they request as a condition of the approving the application, that they get a copy of the ad
Mhm.
after the fact in order to verify it,
Right.
and we can put that in our comments.
Of the draft of the ad that they are going to place if they get approval.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. The second one is in the same condition. It's because both of these properties are the short-term rental aspect is managed by the same company. The name of the company is Vassar, V-A-R-A-S-A, is who the management of the property is. So it's the same situation. There's no ad on this one. This is on 20B Cottage Drive. We have the lot D01, 37B, and sublot 8B. There's a license, all the application is correct. But again, it's the same situation. There's no ad available for us to review. This has a 3-bedroom septic, 3-bedroom approved condo, and a 3-bedroom tax card. I think Cottage
David,
Drive.
where is Cottage Drive?
I think that's in
That's Wentworth
Right
Road.
behind the church,
Wentworth area.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's in the village district?
Yeah, it's right off the 10th hole. I know the person owns it.
Yeah, I've been in the unit many times.
All right.
So we do the same condition.
Yes, I would say so.
That's good.
And they said they're willing to do it. Julie Atwell managed these because Julie was out. And then she had a conversation with the gentleman who manages this company. And they said as soon as it gets approved, they'll send the ad. So he's aware of the fact that we need a copy of the ad.
Okay.
All right, so
So the
we
first
should be
one-
voting on these individually.
Mhm.
I have I have a motion to accept the application for Hudson Heights.
A motion we accept.
Second?
Second.
I have a motion to accept and a second. All in favor?
Question?
Aye.
Are we going to accept with the
Aye.
condition of the ad?
Yeah. And both of these, we've agreed that we're going to accept with the comments to the select board to request that they should request a copy of the ad either as a follow-up for an approval or however which way you guys want to handle that. But to have some way to have closure on having the ad available to you. That's up to you how you want to do that. But that you should do something to make sure that you can verify that the ad meets the requirement.
And I think the Wentworth one, I think all those condos, weren't they, proper windows were put in, all of them, or was it just the short-term rentals back when they first started applying?
Some have and some have not had the work done largely because of the issue around access to the windows.
Yeah.
The supplier has dried up on some of them. Some of them have building permits to do that. And we really are not aware of this particular property. The folks say they have the appropriate egress for this. We don't, unless anybody here knows of that, we don't know that. Again, that might be something the select board might want to check because it's a Wentworth property, but
Yeah, 'cause some of those bigger units, the back wall is like a daylight basement. There's a bedroom here, a living space, and then there's another bedroom here with a single door, and there's just cement, there's no windows in that second bedroom back. But they're all pretty much the same way.
That answer your question. Again, it's not it's not the planning board's purview to do a verification of the application that has been done. These folks say they're all good.
The onus is on them,
Yeah.
and it's off us if we miss something. If we send somebody in there and we messed up somehow, come back on us. We make them sign off on it, they own it.
Good, okay.
It keeps us off the books.
So, can you answer your question?
Yep.
I don't know.
I have a quick question. Oh, we'll finish the vote on that, I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'll finish the vote.
All right, do we want to, you want to get the vote and then we can talk?
Yeah, just
Okay.
quick.
So we have a motion to accept in a second. We just have to vote on the acceptance of the first one. We have not done the second one yet at all. So we need a vote.
Right, okay, we vote on the first one, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're good on the first one. Do we have one on the second one? I have a motion.
So moved.
Moved, second?
Second.
Moved and second to accept the application on Cottage Drive. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous for both. All right, yes, please.
Quick question, on the application for the SDRs, is there something in there about the trash? I don't know, I remember seeing something in there. I don't remember.
The affidavit specifies that the person signing the affidavit is aware of the requirement for trash to be properly removed. And parking and I don't know that it specifies, for example, that, I don't know if we added the noise ordinance into the language of the affidavit or not. That was something we requested that the selectmen add. Don't know that it's been updated to do that. And that doesn't require a planning board to make that change. But it would require the select board to make appropriate changes to the affidavit.
It's on the page that you sign. Where
What
the
does it
selectmen-
say? Do you
It
read
says, we understand and accept that we are, as the property owner, are responsible for trash removal, ensuring that all parking of vehicles is on-site, occupancy limits are not exceeded, and any site-specific conditions imposed are satisfied. And they sign that, and then that's what you guys sign at the bottom.
Very good, thank you. My concern is having the Airbnb people bringing the trash to the transfer station. That's my concern. That's been an issue with people not knowing what to do, driving the wrong way, causing...
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's why I was concerned with the owner is related or responsible for designated to get rid of the trash. That should be on the person who is staying there to do it. I think it's the owner's responsibility not to pass it on to the tenant.
Right, and how the owner deals with it then becomes the issue.
Right.
They should be following appropriate ordinances, and that doesn't allow for a renter to make use of the...
I don't know where it says that specifically. The renter can't use the transfer station.
Well, don't you have to have a sticker to use the...
You do. They have transferable stickers they're
Okay.
using. That's what they're doing.
All right. So,
Which again is technically not in the bylaws of the transfer station. You're only supposed to get 2 per family, but apparently that is kind of softened.
again, that's you guys who decide how you want to deal with that.
But I was just wondering if there was anything specifically in there that said that the owner was responsible for the trash, not passing it on to the tenants and charging $200
Yep.
if they don't remove the trash,
Yeah, it's...
which I think is rather ridiculous, but...
Yeah, I think it's reasonably clear from the affidavit that it says it's their responsibility. In effect, what we've done with the affidavit,
But the responsibility isn't passing it on to the tenant. That's the problem I'm seeing, because we're taking it down to our station down here and filling our trash cans with the trash they can't get into the dump because the dump isn't open at 12. So they're leaving at 10 o'clock and going down to the mobile station and filling up our bins
yeah,
with their trash. Oh, yes. Taking the top off, throwing in multiple bags of trash in our little container that only holds, what would be car appropriate trash.
yeah.
That's the issue I'm having at the store. And again, it doesn't say specifically in there that the owner is responsible and not the tenant. The tenants are getting the wrong end of the deal on that, I believe.
Well, I would say that if the tenant is being required by the owner to do that, then it would seem, at least from my perspective, that then the select board would have the option to go back at the STR owner and say, that's a violation.
It's catching them though.
Well, that's a whole other issue, but enforcement's a difficult process in any of this. It assumes that people are behaving.
And the other issue is Bartlett allows it, so they allow people to come up there, and so that makes it just that much more hard to enforce. So
Yeah.
that's not our issue. obviously.
No, they allow other things that we don't allow. Any other further discussion? And I think you have to adjust your lid, since you're the only one with one. Oh, okay, well, you can help.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye, we're done, thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you all.
Aye.
Thank you, guys, appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Record,